You may have grabbed a quick bite at one of these spots just this week. But what if I told you one of them reuses cooking oil until it turns darker than motor fluid? Another hides insects in the ice machine. And a third serves burgers made on grills that haven't been cleaned in weeks? These 6 fast food chains are hiding things you were never meant to see. And once you learn the truth, there's no unlearning it. Let's start with a name you might not hear as often as the giants, but one that comes with a laundry list of greasy secrets. Welcome to Checkers and Rallies, 2 names for one brand and a shared recipe for late-night regret. Known for their bold fries and burgers that hit differently after midnight, what you don't see behind the scenes might just ruin your appetite. Multiple employees have shared videos showing grills coated with thick layers of black residue, the kind that takes days or even weeks to build up. One worker said, "If that grill had a name, it'd be Carbon." The burgers? Preformed, frozen, and slapped onto those same unwashed flat tops, left to dry out under warmers until they're more jerky than juicy. Their famous fries might be packed with seasoning, but they're also swimming in oil that sometimes goes unchanged for a week. One viral TikTok showed crumbs and sludge floating in the fryer basket, with an employee adding, "That's not flavor, that's fatigue." And then there's the toppings. Tomatoes arrive mushy, soaking in water that's cloudy by the end of the day. Shredded lettuce smells like a mix of plastic and gym socks. Pickles? They're often carried over between shifts, reused like a worn-out napkin. But the worst offender might be the ice. Health department reports have repeatedly flagged Checkers and Rallies locations for mold and bacteria found in ice bins. In one particularly disturbing case, inspectors discovered live insects crawling near soda nozzles and inside the cup dispenser. A customer once posted a video of a bug floating in their drink with the caption, "Would you like fries with that insect?" Cleanliness violations run deep, from employees skipping hand washing, to raw meat cross-contaminating prep surfaces, to expired food relabeled with new dates. One former shift lead said they were told to make it work, even if that meant serving food that should have been tossed days ago. Even desserts aren't spared. Shake machines, described by staff as biohazards in disguise, were rarely cleaned properly. One worker admitted they had to scrape curdled milk from a nozzle using a plastic knife. So while the menu promises big flavor and wild deals, the experience at Checkers and Rallies can be anything but appetizing. The next time those fries call your name at 2 a.m., ask yourself, is the craving worth the contamination? Let's talk about a fast food icon, once defined by its secret blend of 11 herbs and spices, until the only thing it started seasoning was your disappointment. Welcome to KFC, where the chicken may be finger-licking, but the process behind it could make you lose your appetite before you even unwrap the box. KFC has built its entire empire on fried chicken, but what really happens behind those counters is more like a culinary coin toss. According to multiple former employees, food is often prepped early in the day, then left to sit under heat lamps for hours, way past the point of crispy and deep into the land of soggy regret. And if you're hoping the mashed potatoes will save the meal, think again. That creamy scoop often comes from a powdered mix, not actual potatoes. Coleslaw? One former cook from Texas claimed the bins were routinely left uncovered overnight in the walk-in fridge, because, as he put it, nobody really cares about coleslaw. That same location was written up after health inspectors found uncooked chicken stored right next to cooked wings. When questioned, the manager reportedly said, "We rotate the trays sometimes." That's not rotation. That's a bacteria exchange program. Let's talk chicken. It's delivered frozen, thawed in-store, then pressure fried. But during lunch rushes, when things get hectic, some workers admit to skipping the thawing step and throwing partially frozen chicken straight into the fryer. That leads to uneven cooking, and in some cases, dangerously raw centers. One customer from Georgia posted a picture of a drumstick that looked golden on the outside, but biting in revealed pink rubbery meat. Their caption? Guess I'm on toast for the rest of the week. And the oil? Employees say it's only changed when absolutely necessary, which, in fast food terms, means barely ever. If you've noticed a weird burnt taste on your chicken, it might be because yesterday's leftovers are still sizzling in today's fryer. Even the gravy, famous in its own right, isn't spared. It's made from fryer scrapings mixed with starch and microwaved into submission. One manager once joked, "Our gravy has more history than your high school textbook." Sanitation is no better. A report from a California location described cutting boards streaked with old food, sticky counters coated in oil, and roaches spotted near the soda machine. When asked about improvements, the franchise owner replied, "We're looking into it." Looking into it? Maybe start with disinfectant. So while the smell of KFC might trigger a wave of nostalgia, that scent comes with a side of neglect, questionable prep practices, and maybe even a little salmonella. If you enjoy gambling with your gut, KFC is open and waiting. But if you're after peace of mind with your poultry, you might want to keep driving. Now let's flame broil some myths, starting with the self-proclaimed king of the grill, Burger King. It might wear a crown in its ads, but behind the kitchen door, the only thing it's ruling over is a kingdom of shortcuts, stale buns, and questionable hygiene. Burger King loves to boast about its signature flame-grilled patties. But here's the catch. Those iconic grill marks? They're often not from a real flame at all. Instead, the patties come pre-seared from the processing plant, frozen with those blackened stripes already pressed in. When it's time to cook, they're run through a broiler belt or simply microwaved. That smoky backyard BBQ flavor? Just smoke and mirrors. Former employees have revealed that burgers are sometimes held in warmers for up to 30 minutes, or longer during slower shifts. One worker even uploaded a photo of Whopper patties that looked more like gray, shriveled hockey pucks than beef. They were dry, rubbery, and aged like leftovers from last month. And if you've ever tasted a strange aftertaste in your burger, you're not imagining things. The buns are heavily treated with preservatives to extend shelf life. Workers say that when the bags are first opened, they sometimes smell more like cleaning chemicals than fresh bread. The toppings don't help much either. A viral video once showed tomato slices with visible mold next to lettuce that had browned so badly it resembled dried seaweed. When it comes to cleanliness, multiple Burger King locations have been flagged by inspectors for repeated issues: dirty kitchen equipment, greasy buildup, and staff not washing their hands. One report from California described a fryer area coated in so much grease it could fill a spoon. That's not grease. That's a slip hazard disguised as dinner. And speaking of fryers, the oil is often reused well past its prime. A former manager in Michigan admitted that on the night shift, fryer oil was stretched for up to a week. That means your onion rings could have been fried in the ghost of 1,000 chicken nuggets. Customers have complained about fries being served cold, soggy, or oddly stale. One tweet showed Burger King fries next to a thermometer reading 70 degrees Celsius. The official Burger King account replied with a shrug emoji. But it's not just the fries. Pressure to serve food fast sometimes overrides food safety. One employee said that when undercooked chicken was spotted, the manager told them to throw it back in for 15 seconds and serve it. The grill isn't the only thing getting reheated either. During busy hours, the microwave gets more action than the broiler. Eggs used for breakfast, pre-cooked, frozen, and reheated. A former worker said the croissant sandwich bun, known as the croissant, tastes like dry packing foam unless it's drowned in margarine. So yes, Burger King may wear the crown in its commercials, but if you peek behind the fryer, you'll find a court full of shortcuts, old oil, and lukewarm regrets. The king may rule the flame, but in this case the flame is barely even lit. On the surface, Pizza Hut might feel like the safe bet. After all, how bad can a slice of pizza really be? But beneath the red roof and stuffed crust lies a mess of shortcuts, microwaves, and sanitation slip-ups that could turn your comfort food into a cautionary tale. Let's start with the dough. While the commercials promise hand-tossed freshness, the reality at many locations is very different. Most Pizza Hut stores don't prepare fresh dough daily. Instead, frozen crusts are left to thaw overnight. And if someone forgets or the timing is off, what ends up in your box is a dry, under-baked base that tastes more like packing cardboard than pizza crust. One employee said the smell sometimes resembled vinegar, the result of fermentation gone sideways. And the cheese? It's a blend of mozzarella, oil, and additives that stretch further than your patience. One viral video showed a slice with a cheese pull so long it looked more elastic than edible. Toppings often don't fare much better. Some customers have opened their boxes only to find everything — cheese, pepperoni, vegetables — slid completely to one side, like the delivery driver took a corner too hard. Others report crusts baked so long they resembled burnt hockey pucks. The sauce, supposedly rich and tangy, has its own horror stories. A former manager admitted that the marinara base sometimes sits out for hours, if not days, because of its high salt and sugar content. Technically still edible, sure, but congealed and sun-warmed? Not exactly what you'd expect with your deep dish. And those pasta dishes that look so cheesy in ads? They arrive frozen in sealed trays, tossed into a microwave, then dumped into foil pans to fool you into thinking they were made to order. One customer described their ziti as a frozen dinner in a tin hat. The wings aren't spared either. Most are flash-fried in oil that's changed every few days, allowing debris to collect into what one employee called sludge soup. A worker even posted a picture of a fryer filter so black it looked like it had been salvaged from an oil spill. Then, there's the matter of cleanliness. Multiple Pizza Hut franchises have received warnings for dirty prep areas, reusing old food, and insects near soda stations. In Ohio, a customer filmed ants crawling across a napkin dispenser. In another case, a former employee claimed they found plastic in a sauce bag and were told to stir it in because no one will notice. Even pizza cutters, one of the most basic tools, are sometimes wiped with paper towels instead of being properly washed between uses. As for the restaurant itself, complaints of moldy ceiling tiles and musty odors aren't rare. One customer said their food was hot, but the dining area smelled like a flooded basement. And at the heart of all this? Poor training and massive staff turnover. New hires are regularly tossed onto the food line with minimal instruction, leading to raw dough, undercooked toppings, and ingredients stored without a clue. So next time you're craving that familiar cheesy slice, remember, Pizza Hut might serve nostalgia in a box, but behind the counter, it's more of a pizza-themed escape room with extra grease and a side of regret. So there you have it. 4 fast food chains, 4 behind-the-scenes horror stories. From soggy buns and reused fryer oil to microwaved mystery meat and moldy ice machines, these aren't just occasional slip-ups. They're symptoms of a system that prioritizes speed and profit over quality and safety. These places serve millions of people every year. But just because they're popular doesn't mean they're clean. The commercials may show juicy burgers, golden fries, and smiling faces, but step behind the fryer, and the truth starts to bubble up. Grease-slicked surfaces, undertrained staff, expired ingredients, and cleaning protocols that disappear after midnight. Fast food is supposed to be convenient, but convenience shouldn't come at the cost of your health or your stomach lining. Because while you might save a few minutes and a couple of bucks, the trade-off could be biting into something you wish you hadn't. If this has made you look at your go-to order a little differently, hit like, tap subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks a late-night burger is always a good idea. We've got more stories coming. More truth, more mess, and more reasons to question what's really behind the drive-thru window. Until then, eat wisely. And remember, the truth isn't always on the menu.